Hi, this is Ellie Drew, your clairvoyant researcher. Welcome back. Now, in an earlier lesson, I had you practicing 2-minute joyful heart centering grounding meditation. So hopefully you've been practicing that. I'm hoping that you have lots of your little beans over into the other dish and that you haven't lost your attention on that. And remember, you can't move a bean until you keep your attention the entire time. Otherwise, you don't get a bean for that day. So I'm going to add now to this joyful heart centering grounding 2-minute meditation, and I'm going to go right into tree meditation. That's another 2-minute meditation. So I'm going to give you the teaching first for the tree meditation, and then I'm going to set the timer. We're going to go right into the 2-minute joyful heart centering grounding meditation, and then I'm going to take the timer when it goes, and I'm going to give you a little bit of guidance. I'm going to set the timer again, and then we will go into 2-minute tree meditation. All right, so this is what I want you to do. Again, you're already going to be in a good centering posture. And remember, always you have a physical posture and a mental posture that happens simultaneously, but I have to tell them to you in a linear fashion. So the standing posture, feet parallel, shoulder width apart, knees soft, spine elongated, shoulders relaxed. With a happy feeling, remember the happy feeling gives you more attention in your body, more power. With a happy feeling, draw your attention within and sink it down, your attention down to lower dantian. Now, we're going to be finishing that 2-minute joyful heart centering grounding meditation. And when we finish that, I'm going to have you shake your hands out as if you are connecting with the roots. So I want you to imagine that you are a big tree. So just picture a big tree right now. Pick the kind of tree you want to be. Get a big sequoia, redwood, white pine, big oak. Doesn't matter, but something that's meaningful to you. And I want you to start to feel your feet, your tailbone, your hands. Just feel into your roots of this tree. And now I want you to feel into your branches. Go up your trunk of your tree and just feel like, oh, I want to be loose in my branches. Okay? All right, so this is what the hand motions look like then. I'm going to breathe loud. You don't breathe loud. I'm breathing loud so you can hear the breathing pattern. You're going to breathe in, and all I'm going to say is green. Remember that lime green, spring green energy I told you about? You're going to imagine that color of the earth energies coming up all around in your roots. It's coming up your root system. You're breathing in. Your hands cross and go straight up. They go up your trunk, and then I breathe out here, about here. And then I'm going to say gold. Remember, in this meditation, you are in a meadow with these gold particles falling down, and these gold particles are really yummy life force energy for you. Then from here, you breathe in, and I'm going to say gold. That's all I'm going to say is gold. So let me show you again now, all smoothly. Green. You're breathing in, and make sure you're visualizing with this. Gold. You're bringing those gold particles down your trunk and brush it, just the gold particles you're pushing out into your roots so they can have that life force energy. When I say green, you're bringing that green up through your trunk and you're pushing it right out to where your leaves are. And then those leaves, they're capturing the gold particles. I say gold, and you breathe it in, and you sink it down. All right, now we're going to do everything all together. So let me get the timer for the first one. So you get your handy-dandy iPhone or smartphone, and you put it on start. I'm already in a good standing posture. You should be too. On this one, remember, you put your center of your palms on your kidneys. Smile, breathe in, collecting those gold particles. And sink it down to lower dantian, bottom of the feet, golden spikes down your heels. Smile, breathe in. Sink your attention, lower dantian, bottom of the feet, golden spikes. Now I'm going to continue to breathe until the timer goes off, and you just continue on your own. Smile, breathe in, and sink it down, down, down. Smile, breathe in. Attention down, down, down. Shake your hands out now. Connect with your tree energy. And for some of you who really tend to be spacey, have your tree roots going into mountain and let mountain hold you and grip you down. Remember, I'm only going to say 2 words, green and gold. So I've just started the timer. I'm going to breathe loud so that you can hear the breathing pattern. So breathe in, a centering breath, green. Gold. I'm visualizing those gold particles coming down and going out to my roots. Green. I'm visualizing that green coming up the center of my trunk and out my branches. Gold. Green. Gold. Green. Gold. Green. Gold. Always smile in your in-breath. Green. Gold. Now just feel into your system. And what does it feel like? Remember, this is training for you to be able to perceive more information in your receiver dish. So you've got to be plugged in at the base of your spine. You need to pull your energy body and lock it in into lower dantian. It's a peaceful, wonderful feeling. So let's see what else the teachers want to show us today. If I'm sensing into my own system, I'm feeling more expanded. I feel like I got really big yawns in, oxygenated. The smiling creates chemistry within your physical body that makes you feel good. So for those of you who are depressed, it's probably because you're not exercising, your diet isn't right. You may have some genetic issues, but you have to take responsibility for yourself. Which I think I'm going to start telling you about the 3 levels of consciousness today. Yeah, this is going to be good. Because you cannot move forward in your life if you don't know where you're going and where you're at. So let me give you some perspective. My teachers have told me about 3 levels of consciousness. I'm going to have a diagram on the board here for you. And in these 3 levels of consciousness, there's 3 boxes. 1 box on the bottom, there's a gap, and then there's 2 more boxes stacked on top of each other. First level consciousness is all about me. These are your whiners, your complainers, your people with addiction, people who make excuses, they're reactive and defensive, they believe their own stories. The religions in first level consciousness are very boxed in, very rule-oriented. You can do this, you cannot do that, this other thing. And the reason that the religions and the organizations have very tight rules to follow is because in first level consciousness, these people don't have very good boundaries. They don't get a sense of right and wrong. They don't get a sense of violating another's personal space or personal property. The addictions can be anywhere from very low-level drug addiction and attention-getting behaviors, all the way up to corporate CEOs who are getting a high from gobbling up other companies and intimidating people who have made new inventions. And they get high off of it. There's actually receptor sites in the brain that are similar to a drug addict. It's all addiction behavior. And it's all about me. So if I was going to put one word in this bottom box here, it's all about me, me, me. Now, remember I said there was a gap between first level consciousness and second level consciousness. And you put a little bridge there. And what is that bridge? Self-responsibility. The spirits told me that the highest spiritual virtue is self-responsibility. That means that when you take responsibility for yourself, you're going to pull yourself out of your mental and emotional drama, pull yourself into your center. I grew up on a farm in Minnesota. On the farm, they'd say, pull up your socks. There's other sayings around the world, around the country, and in your own cultures. Pull up your socks and get the work done. There's another saying, God helps those who help themselves. And this is absolutely true for first level consciousness. If you are going to expect a savior, you are really dealing with falsehood of your own mind, and you need to be able to handle your own mind. But at least you know that in order to get to second level consciousness, you take responsibility. And what the spirits tell me is that it doesn't matter if you've made mistakes in your life, even really masterful, big mistakes where you've hurt a lot of people. What they tell me is that you are here to live full out. And so none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all do really stupid things where we feel embarrassed, and it's all part of being here. So it's a human experience. So don't worry about those kinds of things and don't beat yourself up for it. Just take responsibility for your actions and your inactions and make new choices. Remember, every breath is an opportunity to consciously breathe in new star seeds into your system to help you have a higher level of consciousness. But it means that you need to push out some old thoughts and old ways of thinking, old behavioral patterns. They're just bad habits. So when you take self-responsibility for your life, immediately you move into second level consciousness. At second level consciousness, in that little box, we have me. Yep. Hey, but there's you too. Now I've got playmates, not people to take advantage of, to do my own work for me. Now I've got playmates that they master something like finances, and I can learn from them. And maybe I master how to talk with the spirit world, and I can teach them what I know, just like what I'm teaching you. If you don't know how to exercise, you go to somebody who's really into exercise and get yourself a personal trainer. If you're into cooking and nutrition and diet and all of the healthy food, food is medicine. You might go into Chinese medicine and talk to your Chinese medicine doctor or your naturopath. And so you find a way. If you don't know about finances, you read Susie Orman books or other people who are working on finances or investments or whatever it is. In the libraries, this is the biggest section of libraries and bookstores, which is called self-help section. If you aren't a good lover, there's books on being a good lover. So whatever you want to master in life, others have mastered it before you, so you don't have to cut that channel. You weren't a leader in it. It's already been cut. So just follow other people who have already been down the road and learn from their experience. Also, if you are new into second level consciousness, let's say that you've kicked your drug addiction or your neediness to have attention, and you've followed along on these lessons. You've dealt with your body, mind, and emotion. You've really started to feel that peacefulness and that stillness and your own sovereignty. When you get to this place, it is so liberating. It is unbelievably liberating, because now you can start making your own mark in the world and you can share what you've learned. So oftentimes people who leave addiction behaviors, they reach down to the lower level of people in that level of consciousness to go, this is what I did in order to be successful. But if you don't have somebody like that in your life right now, just know, getting across that bridge is self-responsibility. Once you own your successes and you own your mistakes, it's liberating. Just own your mistakes. The spirits say it doesn't matter how much you've messed up in your life. Own your mistakes, and now we have a new day. So today, make it a new day. And when you're in this new day now, start learning how to cultivate your health, your wealth, and your relationships. These are the three primary things of your life: your health, your wealth, and your relationships. So this is me and you. This is where we have shared knowledge and community living, and we create beautiful cities and towns and parks so that we can enjoy each other in these venues. Now, what is third level consciousness? Second and third level consciousness boxes are touching because you cannot move up into third level consciousness until you have a full handle on your body, your mind, and your emotions, and on your health, wealth, and relationships. When you master that, you will start having more money in your life. You will start having more flow in your life. It just happens naturally. You don't force flow. You cultivate flow. You cultivate yourself, and then you just get in this nicer flow in your entire life. So as you are in that flow, you have excess money, excess time, excess. You want to talk about the bigger issues. In that third box, third level consciousness, it's we. This is where you don't only make decisions for you and yours. Now you make your decisions based on the global community. And this is where you start voting with your dollar. Where are you going to put your resources? What kind of world do you want to live in? If you want to live in an organic food world, then buy organic, because that is already forcing the food industry to change, or to lie to us and put organic when it's not organic. So know your sources of food, eat local. These are important things to do if you can. And there's so many farmers markets now all over the world. That's wonderful. Home gardens, wonderful to have. I don't know if you know the story about Russia, but when Russia fell apart, they had very severe food shortages. And so they started to make plots that was big enough for the home dwelling and big enough for a small orchard and garden. So now the community had all kinds of food because everyone was growing their own food. And for those who were too elderly, then they had a community plot or people shared with the elders. So now they don't have a food shortage. And so I see that this is the way the world is going to be going, that we move out of the big farms. We're always going to have those big farms. But we can move away from that into locally grown, because that soil has what's going to support you. And you support your local economy besides that. Third level consciousness means you might want to deal with the issues of purified water around the world. TED Talks are filled with people in third level consciousness making a difference in the world. If you don't know about TED Talks, tedtalks.com, TEDTALKS, tedtalks.com. There is a whole host of 20-minute talks that are inspiring about what people are doing in third level consciousness, always pushing us to more unity in our community. So that's the 3 levels of consciousness. So how you use your thought power and you push power to your thoughts and what you create in your life will completely depend on your level of consciousness. If you are trying to push power to, let's see, money. People are wanting money. So a first level consciousness person might be manifesting for money so that they can get their way. Or they might manifest to get their next mark of somebody that they can take advantage of. Second level consciousness, when they go in to manifest for money, they're going to say, show me how I can make more money. So do you see the difference? First level consciousness is, I'm going to manifest for money and I want to win the lottery. Second level consciousness is, how can I make the money myself? What can I do to make more money? Can I get educated in a different way, or is there something that I can do? Third level consciousness says, I am the money. It is a different way of being. It is that unity consciousness within the heart pod that recognizes that we manifest from our centers out in a wave. Do you remember Neo in the Matrix? He realized that all of this that we see around us was really quite fluid. Your life is more fluid than you think. So when you make these tiny and sometimes big changes in your life, it can transform, because as you purify yourself and all these layers of blankets of emotional and mental distress that you put on yourself, nobody does it to you, you put it on yourself. When you move into that brilliant, diamond shining light that you are, that's your light body. Your true self has no form, remember, but you have to have a travel body, which is your light body. When you do that, you've got more to give to the world. And you have this unity consciousness where you recognize that your thoughts have power. And that when you can sink in and push those thoughts out from your center out, you can do things like I've done, like protecting my house from a tornado when everyone else's house was damaged, like working with the weather, like having a magical life, like having magical opportunities and relationships, like having a magical marriage. You can create the life you want, but I'm not trying to tell you how to create a magical life right now. I'm trying to tell you what is holding you back from creating that magical life and the steps you need to take in order to fully move forward in your life. Now, Something that I do at the National Qigong Association conference is I volunteer for them and I do some energetic assessments. So what I do is I have a person come and stand in front of me, and then I say, breathe into your center, and then sink it down to lower dantian. Just that. I can learn so much about a person by just that, because I know my radar dish here, my sensing dish here, that all I have to do when they're doing that practice is I just put my attention. How many times have I talked to you about attention? I bring my attention to the person who is breathing into their center and sinking their attention down to lower dantian. If you have shallow breathers or people out in the heart, in the head, I'll say your energy is only down to here. Sink it down farther. Well, how do I sink it down? What did I just say? Attention. You breathe in and bring your attention down. When your attention sinks down, your energy body sinks down. When you sink it down to the bottom of your feet, you sink even more into your body. When you put your gold spikes down, you sink even deeper into your body. That little shift, just that, completely shifts people. Use an image that's going to work for you. I like tree roots growing into mountain, because you get that mountain energy that's holding you. You've got deep rooted tree roots that are holding you. And so when the winds of life come and hit you, because it happens, you can be more flexible instead of getting wiped out. If you don't have good solid roots and you're out floating around believing any delusion that there is, when things happen in your life, you have no roots, so your tree is going to be crashed over and you're going to have a devastated life situation. So think things through. It's all very systematic about how to be grounded and what happens when you are not grounded. So get yourself grounded. So imagine that you're standing in front of me. So I'm going to just go into the camera now. I'm going to sense into my audience. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I see. So get in, for those of you who are going to do this now, get into a good standing posture for me. Oh, all right. So some of you can just sit down right away because you've been following along here and you've been doing the work and you've been doing 100 beans over in your dish with doing that Joyful Heart 2-minute centering grounding meditation. Kudos for those of you who are doing that, and I bet you feel a big shift in your life already. Now, for those of you who have not been doing that, start over in this series and go do the work. You can, otherwise all this is going to be for you is mental masturbation. You're just going to get more mental stuff, but you're never going to do the practices. Get out of my class. I literally kick people out of my classes if they're not going to do the work. I almost kicked a woman out in Beijing when I was teaching over there. And it turns out that she decided to do the practices and she had the biggest shift of anybody in the entire class. So do the work. It makes a difference. All right, so for those of you now who are going to stand in a good standing posture, let me see if there's any additional information I can give you. First, do a good centering breath. You're kind of waiting up in your head for me to guide you. When you stand into a good standing posture, you don't wait for me. You just automatically go into both your standing and your mental posture, which is breathing into that center and sinking down. When you're in a grocery store line, don't sit and waste your time. I never waste my time standing in a grocery store line. I am always cultivating. When I'm driving, I am always cultivating. So always practice breathing in and sinking down. Okay, so thank you. Many of you have started to do that now. Make it a practice. Now, some of you, this is interesting. I'm feeling some of you just feeling like you don't deserve to have this teaching, that you don't deserve to be happy, that you don't deserve to know the pathway. I'm going to be doing some forgiveness practices. I'm going to be teaching you some emotional unhooking practices, so don't worry about it. For right now, just trust me on this. Go in, breathe in, sink it down. Oh, good, thank you. That was good. We'll get there. I'm in a 3D world. I can't download it all to you. I wish, to goodness sakes, I could download all this information to you, but I have to put it in a linear fashion for your system to understand and to integrate. All right. Again, I'm just sensing into the group of you. All right, what I'm picking up on now is that some of you still don't know why you're doing this. All right, I'm going to whack you upside the head, as my mom would say. Why are you doing this? You're doing this to get your mental and your emotional bodies that get shredded like a vacuum cleaner retractable hose that's in your spine, to pull it down from your head, down from your emotions, plug it into the base of your spine so that your energy body is around you, so you have your personal receiver dish. If you don't know how to center and ground, your receiver dish is up here, out your head. It's out here, from your emotions up. So the reason you're doing this is why? To tether your receiver dish. So every time I ask this, I want you to say that, to tether your receiver dish. Otherwise, you cannot have access to your direct transmission teachings that reside within you. So I'm just feeling into some of you. Others know? All right. The next thing that I'm getting here, because we just did tree qigong, what I'm seeing is that some of your trees are absolutely beautiful, but your roots are really weak. So if you have only just joined this program, you need to go back and you need to go and do Joyful Heart Centering Grounding 2-minute meditation. Do your 100 days. Give yourself those 100 days because it makes a huge difference. What's going to happen is that you'll feel like as you walk through your life, you're more present with the people around you. You're more present with any situation, whether it's a happy situation or you get fired from your job. When I'm in teaching in China, I say, if somebody's yelling at you, what do? And immediately now they know to say, center and ground. And if somebody is pushing your buttons, what do you do for them? You bless them. People who are pushing your buttons, they are the best teachers in the world for you. They are wonderful assets to your life. Now, some people are just plain negative, and you just need to push them out of your life and be ruthless about it. I haven't talked to my oldest son for quite a number of years right now because it was all drama all the time, wanting to have every conversation, dragging me into it. And I said, honey, I love you, go away. When you get through this crisis of whatever it is that you're choosing to cultivate, because your choices are not my choices. So this is up close and personal in your life. I have people in my life who have had to push out their loved ones because of drug addiction. Push them out. You've got to have your own sovereignty. Make sure you do that. Be healthy and strong for yourself. So some of you I see with a nice big tree, and there's many of you that I'm seeing that your roots are very weak. And that means that when something happens that's traumatic in your life, you're going to get whomped. You need to grow those roots before you grow your tree. Think about how a seed grows. A seed doesn't go up first. A seed goes down first. So the deeper you go down, the more stable you can be as you reach up to get higher level consciousness information. You can't just go up. You've got to go down. That is your lessons for today. Now do some good 2-minute joyful heart centering grounding meditation and do 2-minute tree meditation and enjoy that connection with nature and enjoy that expanded lovely feeling within yourself. I am Ellie Drew, your clairvoyant researcher. Bye-bye.